Hey, good evening, Top fans. It's Bill from TopFanRivalry. Got another fresh face in the clubhouse, somebody that hasn't been in here before, but somebody that is near and dear to my heart as far as the team is concerned. So, Karla, welcome to the clubhouse this evening.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
You bet, you bet. So, Karla, first of all, tell us about your favorite team.
My favorite team's the Dodgers, just in case you couldn't tell.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Great. So, how'd they become your favorite team?
Funny story, I was actually raised an Angel fan. My parents would take me to Angel games along with my sister while we were growing up, and I didn't like it. I didn't like going to Angel. I mean, I liked going to Angel games because it was family time and I liked the sport, but I just didn't feel like there was much passion from Angel fans. I didn't really feel at home at the stadium. There wasn't really anything exciting that drew me in, that I was like, oh, wow, this is such a great ballpark. There was nothing like that there. So as I got older and I started just doing my own thing, I'm watching my own games, and my parents started getting busier with work. We weren't going to as many games. I started kind of just doing my own thing and watching games on my own. And I was really attracted to the Dodgers. Dodger fans are very passionate. We're very loyal. And I kind of felt more at home there, literally going to that stadium. You know, it's a historical stadium. And yeah, it is far and it is a pain to get in and out of, but there's nothing like being at Dodger Stadium. And that's always one of the things people always talk to me about, especially when they're like, but it's so there, you're just in and out. And I'm like, it's okay. I'd rather be stuck for an hour in traffic and going to like a real LA team.
One that doesn't have identity crisis, right? One that knows that they're in LA.
Yes, we know it's LA. It's always been.
You know, it's funny, Karla, that you mentioned that because I grew up in Orange County. Both my parents were, both my stepfather and my mother were Angel fans, diehard Angel fans, and my dad lived up in the valley, up in the Van Nuys area, and he raised me as a Dodger fan. And like you said, there's just something about that ballpark. Angel Stadium, fine, okay, great, I'll go. You know, it's fine. You catch a game, but there's just something about Dodger Stadium. It's the 45 minutes to get up the hill to park, right? It's the Dodger dog. Was that?
I said, yeah, it's a process, but every minute is it's worth it.
You love it. You love it. Exactly. 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 Awesome. So, and what I also like too about baseball, and you just mentioned it to a person, and if you listen to these podcasts, you'll hear this from other people. It's all about the family thing. I started watching baseball because of my uncle or brother or cousin or dad or grandpa or whatever. And I just love that. It's America's favorite pastime for a reason, right?
Right.
So I love it. Okay, now let's talk about you. Favorite
Okay.
player, past and present.
Okay. So all-time favorite player, Ken Griffey Jr. is my
Oh,
all-time player. Um, all-time favorite Dodger, 42. Excited for that. I go to that game April 15. I was getting really nervous because of the lockout. I'm like, oh my God, if they cancel or postpone Jackie Robinson Day, April 15, after 75 years, that wouldn't be right, you know? So I'm glad baseball is back April 7th. We have Jackie Robinson Day. Current favorite baseball player and Dodger would be Justin Turner.
JT.
Yeah, JT, he went to Cal State Fullerton. I went to Cal State Fullerton. He's just really great with the fans. I've had a chance to catch him at rehab games at Quakes. Him and his wife have a great relationship. He literally will stay there 2 hours and will sign for everyone. I have a few balls signed by him. I have a cap signed by him. My daughters have a couple balls. They have their caps signed by him. Him and his wife, they're just very personable. They really love their fans. And like his wife has talked to me and she's like, I wish I could just clone him because he would stay out here for hours and hours and hours, but I want to take him home eventually, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, like he's just great, very supportive. He's like a great veteran in the team. I'm glad he decided to stick around. I'm glad he didn't go anywhere. Um, he has merchandise with Baseballism, which he has a great foundation, and Baseballism donates some of the proceeds to the JT Foundation. And he's just a great, great human being.
You know what? JT is one of my favorite current Dodgers because of everything that you just said. He just plays the game right. Him and Courtney have seem like they got a great relationship. I've never met the two. At some point, I'm going to try to get Courtney on this podcast. She just launched her own podcast, and I've listened to a number of episodes. I'd like to get her on here. I know the relationship between Baseballism and Justin, and he's that guy that just he seems grateful every single day that he's a ball player, because
Yes.
even though he's making a ton of money doing it, he realizes that it can go away at any time, and he's just grateful.
Yeah, and he's very humble too. You know, he's always doing fan love at the stadium. So he interacts a lot with his fans and on social media and Instagram. So he'll be like, hey, tonight we'll be doing fan love, post a picture at the stadium, let me know what section you're in, and they'll go and surprise whoever, you know, with a signed ball, a signed bat, a signed shoe, a signed shirt. And I think that's great that he's still involved with the fans. Like, it hasn't, his fame and how successful he's been hasn't gotten to his head. And he's also always going to hospitals and taking time to do that. And so, yeah,
He
he's great.
and yeah, he's amazing. And you mentioned baseballism. So do you have a relationship with baseballism yourself?
I do. I'm a Baseballism ambassador, which means if you use my code Karla with a K, Karla 15, you get 15% off. Online only. Online only. Don't try going to the store and trying to use it. Work.
So go to the store, they might stop you, but that's awesome. And for you top fans, if you haven't been into a baseballism store, they've got a lot of fun merchandise. When we actually put this up on YouTube, you'll see Karla. She's got a 42 hat on. She's got a Dodger shirt on.
I have a Baseballism to a bat necklace. So yeah, cool thing too that's exciting with Baseballism is that now they got rights to MLB. So before it was all strictly just their branded baseball and softball wear, but now any team could be found, and they're releasing more items per team as you know the season goes on. So it doesn't matter if you're a Dodger fan, if you're a Giants fan, a Cardinals fan, Angels fan, doesn't matter who you are, you could get Baseballism gear with your team's logo.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, I was waiting to see who you were going to name off, because there's a couple of teams this season who have dismantled their teams, and you're like, so is there still Reds fans out there that are happy? Is there still A's fans
Right?
out there that are happy?
I know. It's crazy. I know.
So, all right, so let's talk about your travels. Ballparks. Where have you been?
I've been to 15 ballparks, so I'm halfway there. And that was one of my main bucket list things to do, visit all the ballparks. So I've been able to get to have COVID kind of ruined it, because I should have been by now maybe up to at least 20. But I'm hoping to go to Miami. Actually, I'm going to Miami later this summer to go catch the series over there. I'm trying to see if maybe I could go to Kansas City. That's still up in the air. But 15 so far. My favorite, everyone always wants to know, oh, you've been to 15, what's your favorite? My favorite is PNC.
I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah, it's an amazing ballpark. I had a chance to catch a game during the day and at night, and just the skyline, the water, the bridge, the people were very welcoming. It's just breathtaking, beautiful ballpark.
So I have not been to PNC Park. I've got a family member who grew up in that area and said, you've got to go. It's on my
Yes.
bucket list. Kaufman, Kansas City is on my bucket list. Coors is on my bucket list.
Okay, that's a nice one. It's a really nice one.
Yeah, Coors is on my bucket list, but yeah, there's a couple of ballparks that I've been to that I'm like, that's a baseball park, huh? All right.
Well,
Right.
yeah, the A's would be one of them.
Yes. Yes.
But
And what about the other one in Florida, Tampa
yeah,
Bay? It's a weird
yeah.
park.
I haven't been to that one. Yeah, but like the Ace one, well, since my bucket list is to go to all of them, right? You just have to knock them out. Doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing really to do around there. It's not nice. But my dad actually grew up in that area. So he grew up going to Ace games with my grandpa. So I wanted to make sure I took my oldest daughter with me. So we could see where my dad used to go watch ball when he was younger. So one day we literally, I'm like, hey, do you want to go catch a game? And she's like, where? I'm like, Oakland. She's like, oh, how far is that? I'm like, I don't know, 6-7 hours driving. She's like, really? This was a few years ago. I'm like, yeah, let's go. We literally got in the car, drove up there. I drove up there, went to the game. It ended really late, went to bed, woke up the next morning and drove back. I mean, it was crazy, but I figured this is the time to do it because who knows if it's going to be there for much longer. So I
Right.
wanted to make sure I had the chance to say I went to that ballpark because just because my dad went there, not because there's anything too exciting happening up there.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've always thought I went there. The Yankees were in town the day that I went there, the night that I went there, and it was middle of the week. It was a new series, and I kept looking around the ballpark thinking, "Wow, this is a awesome place to watch a football game, but not a baseball game. There's just too much foul territory. And just it's kind of awkward,
Yeah,
right?"
it doesn't feel like ballpark, like a baseball
Yeah.
ballpark at all. But definitely like other ballparks that I really enjoyed. Wrigley. I mean, everyone has to go to Wrigley. Everyone has to go to Fenway. You
Mhm.
just, I mean, make the trip.
Yeah, just make it happen. You got to make it happen. All right, so we covered ballparks, and you've been to a lot of them, and I'm super impressed in the ones that you want to get to next. Miami looks fun. It looks a lot of fun. You shouldn't have a trouble getting a seat there, but
Exactly. Yeah,
I
no,
mean, Kaufman seems to be on everybody's bucket list. Everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, I want to go to Kansas City, Kansas City." So don't do it in the summertime when it's pretty humid, but I mean, it's a
humid, right?
great looking ballpark.
I wanted to go to Philly this year too, but pricing to go to Philly right now, flights are ridiculous for Philly. I'm like, yeah, no, that one's gonna probably have to wait. But I was really trying to get out there in May, but I don't think I'm gonna do that.
I'm trying to get out there. I've done a bunch of interviews with Mets fans and Philly fans recently, and I'm trying to get out there. Even if the Dodgers aren't in town, just hit Citizens Bank and also hit City Field because they're only about an hour away from each other,
Right,
right? Across the
right.
bridge, you're good. And so I'm trying to hit both of them up and get a little touristy thing going on too. So we'll see how it plays out.
Oh,
See how it plays out. All right, so you've been awesome. Now my final question. Okay, we got baseball back, which is what we were all worried about, right? And I tell you what, I was as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs when all of a sudden Manfield said, "Hey, we're gonna cancel up to April 14th because April 15th, as you've mentioned, is Jackie Robinson Day." But
yes.
now baseball's back. We've got everything back. What are you looking forward to from this season the most?
Now that we got Freddie Freeman, I really feel is like ring or bust for us this year. I'm tired of people saying that our last World Series doesn't count. It was a short season. You guys got lucky, blah, blah, blah. But like I always tell everyone, they had the same chance that we did. It may have been a shorter season, but oh well, it was a shorter season for everyone, not just for us.
Mhm.
So fair game for everyone. I want to be able to say that we won the championship this year after getting Freddie Freeman, after getting rid of Kenley Jensen. Um, I have a feeling Bellinger is going to come back and he's going to be healthier, and Max Muncy's back, and we got Kershaw again. So I really feel for us, it really is ring or bust for us this year. We have I mean, our lineup, you look at our lineup, it's like they're all stars and looks like an all-star team. So much power there. If we can make it happen this year, I would just be devastated, like really surprised. I really do think we just need to stay healthy, and this is our year again.
Yeah, I agree with you. When Freddie Freeman signed and he came back home, I thought there's not a weak spot in this lineup. This is great. And
Yeah.
and I got a text message from a friend of mine who's a Yankee, and there used to be the 1927 Yankees were known as Murderers Row because from top to bottom they were amazing. And they had Lou Gehrig, they had Babe Ruth, and my Yankee fan or my Yankee friend sent me this text message that you guys have the new equivalent of Murderers Row. You guys have a great lineup. So I'm looking
It's,
forward to that.
people are people have been telling me, oh, you guys are the new Yankees, you know. I'm like, oh, no, no, no.
No. We're on the West Coast here. You know, we'll still get the crazy Hollywood people that'll come out to our games, and you know, so well,
Yes.
Karla, you've been an amazing interview. This is so much fun to talk to you. Okay, so remind the top fans, first of all, remind us about that discount code for baseballs. And what was it again?
Yes, baseballism, Karla 15, that's Karla with a K, 15 gets you 15% off your baseballism purchases online.
Perfect, online. And then Karla, we need to have you back in the clubhouse sometime and we can talk other things outside of just who you're a fan of. Like we'll have you on maybe when we have either a ladies' night or when we do our predictions night or something to that effect. We've got a lot of fun rivalry podcasts scheduled and coming up. So if you'll
Sounds good.
join us again, come on back in.
Yes, I would love to. I'll be happy to.
Awesome. Top fans, this is Karla. She's new to the clubhouse. She's fantastic. She's a Dodger fan. She's a baseballism fan and great ambassador. And might I say that I'm pretty impressed that she's hit 15 ballparks already. So let's just keep it going. Hope you
Yes,
enjoyed the podcast. As usual, top fans, feel free to make any comments. Let us know what we missed. If you're not already following Karla on Instagram, I will make sure that I tag her when this drops so that you can take a look and follow her as well. She's a fantastic person and it's been great to get to know her. So Karla, thanks for coming in again and we'll have you
yes.
in soon.
Sorry, and my dog is over here trying to get into this interview.
There you go. Hi, puppy.
Hey, Griffey, come on. Come on. Oh, he doesn't want to jump up here, but his name is Griffey.
I wonder where we got that name.
I wonder.
Yes. Thanks for coming on, Karla. Appreciate it.
For having me.
Yeah.